Hello and welcome once again to The Old Man Speaks. I'm Joshua. I come to you 3 times a week and talk to you for 5 minutes. I figured today we'd start with some mail, some questions from listeners. This one comes from Sally McMahon from Boring, Maryland. She says, "Dear old man, I'm having trouble with my neighbors. My pet orangutan keeps defecating on their front lawn, and they're getting rather upset. This orangutan is an existential orangutan. I only take him out sometimes. It shouldn't be a problem. Yours truly, 3-year-old Sally." Well, Sally, I think that your parents need to join a cult, a religious cult, and that would perhaps solve all of your problems. Hal David asked, "Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?" Hal, just like me, they long to be close to you. I could answer the question, "Do you know the way to San Jose?" There are 4 verses in that song. The question is never answered. How many times must a man walk down before you can call him a man? Is that even a question? And is it really helpful to say, well, the answer's blowing in the wind? David Bellamy asked, "If I said you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?" Don't use that as a pickup line. Rod Stewart asked, "Do you think I'm sexy?" He says, "If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, sugar, tell me so. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me." No, Rod. If a picture paints 1,000 words, then why can't I paint you? Huh? MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Oh no! It's not that hard to find a cake recipe. It's just a cake. Oh, yes, listener correspondence. That's what we were talking about. So at the end of Red Riding Hood, I asked, "What's the moral of this story?" And in case you didn't see that one, it's about Little Red Riding Hood, except I make Riding Hood a very capable young lady who takes care of things herself. Now, most people just said, well, you can't judge a book by its cover. But one person whose name I will not mention said things like, oh, don't trust redheads, and beware of girls with pretty smiles and stuff like that. I began to realize, whoa, this is really a very feminist tale I'm telling, and I guess that was very intentional on my part. A couple of people have mentioned that they like what I'm doing with the guitar videos, but they're used to hearing me play in person, and they'd really like to hear the acoustic sound of my guitar. And that's a complicated thing because I would rather just play in a good room with a good mic and no effects. But that's not working out too well for me in this space. See, what I find is that unlike the way most people would mic a guitar, I like my microphone back a bit. And where I am right here, I'm next to a window. I can do a video like this. For example, right now there's crashing going around in the background, but you can't hear it because I'm pretty close mic. When I have the guitar and the mic out here, I'm picking up sounds from the streets, people blowing their horn, all sorts of noise, and it doesn't work too well. The sound I get with a close microphone just sounds terrible to me. So I use different types of effects. You run into a couple of problems. And this is live too. I've heard so many great performers. I go to hear them and I don't enjoy it that much, you get the head in the sound box syndrome, where it sounds like you've stuck your head inside their guitar and everything is kind of just too much. The other thing is where you have an under the saddle pickup and everything sounds brittle and quacky and you just can't EQ it out. Well, I'm out of time. Just to say that I do plug in, I use reverb and delay and try and get a musical sound. I'm beginning to play more of the electric when plugged in, and we'll see how that works. Until next time, have a great rest of the week.